Welcome to today's video where we'll be fixing an iPhone 8 front screen, and it's pretty badly cracked, so it will require some special attention and a little bit more time than usual. We take off the bottom two screws to start off, and then we work our way around the phone, prying out the LCD frame from the phone. And as you see in the video, we will be starting off right at the bottom, and right in between the red and the black you'll see a little frame under the screen. That's where you gotta lift up. Be very careful if your screen is not cracked and you're trying to open up your phone for any other reason, but with this screen it's pretty cracked, so we still want to watch out for some ribbon cables on the right side of the phone. It'll be the other side, not this one. And so we're working our way through the phone from the bottom to side, and in the end it'll be the top. This is where the flex cables be running. Some flex cables are for the LCD, and there's one for the ear speaker. So this area on the top is usually clicked in, so you got to kind of release that click. Yep, and then just go ahead and side to side, wiggle the screen a little bit, and it should come out easily. Now don't open it all the way, open it like a book, because of the flex cables running on the right side of the phone. Now we have a couple of metal plates, one over here with 4 screws, and this is holding down the LCD flex cables. So we take these out. You do have a battery connector as well over there, which we try to take out first. And then we have the other metal plate right there holding down the ear speaker flex cable, and it has 3 screws. Now one of the screws right there got loose, so we're just trying to go ahead and use the magnet on the phone to see if it could stick to the screwdriver. But be careful with these screws because they're pretty tiny and you could either lose them. Sometimes they could get left inside the phone, so be sure to take them out. Place them separately because you'll need to put all these screws back in the same spots. Just went ahead and disconnected the flex cables, the top and bottoms. Go ahead and lift off the screen. Now we're just going to go ahead and take off the metal plate covering the ear speaker, the proximity sensor, and the front camera. This is one ribbon cable, and the ear speaker comes off separately. So the front camera is overlapping the speaker. We go ahead and take off the speaker. And then we got the other home button on the bottom. Gotta take off the metal plate for that. We got 4 screws. we will go ahead and unplug the fingerprint flex cable right there, and that's something that we're gonna have to take off and put on the next screen. So we could apply a little heat just towards the cable area, not too much towards the fingerprint sensor or the home button. And you can gently pull it up and lift it up a little bit at a time, just to see if you're actually pulling up the flex cable or if you're ripping it. So if you think that it's gonna rip, just try to use a thin like a toothpick or so, and just try to work your way slowly into the flex cable, and it will release pretty easily. Clean up the area and everything if you have a lot of glass shards, because you don't want to put your new screen down on a little piece of glass and crack it. Now this screen is pretty bad, and usually it wouldn't be you wouldn't have this type of condition, but every now and then you'll be missing a lot of glass around that area. So you got to be careful with the with this flex cable area right here, because you gotta take it off and it's pretty glued down, so just gently work your way around the area. Once you release the bottom, the area with the gold pieces, you go ahead and work your way up towards the proximity sensor. I wish it was a little bit more cleaner view for you. This screen was pretty bad, so sorry about the footage on that. But since it does have a lot of glass shards, it'll have some stuck on the proximity sensor area. So we're gonna go ahead and gently clean off whatever we can, so it doesn't get applied to the new screen. And for that reason, sometimes it could be a bad repair, or it could just crack the next screen easier. So it's just best to clean up your phone every time you fix and take off the glass. So this new screen does come with a middle metal plate, and the screws already screwed down. Usually you would have to transfer it from the other screen. So we're gonna go ahead and put in the home button now. Make sure it doesn't have any glass pieces around the home button, and when you set the ribbon down, there should be a little hole you can set it in so it's in place, and then you go ahead and clip it. It could take a couple of tries every now and then, but just take it nice and slow, gentle, and just make sure you don't over press it or mess up anything. So now we're gonna go ahead and put that metal piece covering the home button. Again, the 4 screws. So you see the two holes on the top, and then also the four little gold pieces on the bottom. That's something that has to be in place in order to before you go ahead and screw it down. So as you see, I'm pressing down right there. You got to make sure it's setting very nice and even, and you'll have a feel for it. And so the gold parts right there have to match the ear speakers gold parts connectors. Once you go ahead and do that, press it down and go ahead and bring over the front camera. Go ahead and sit down the metal plate as well. Screw it down, and that should be really all we had to do on this part of the screen. And then it should be ready to go ahead and connect to the rest of the phone. And so we're just going ahead and cleaning up around the edges of the phone now. Since this phone was pretty damaged, it should have left some glass pieces laying around. And even if it wasn't damaged too much, you just want to make sure. Sometimes there's just screws laying around, and other things. Sometimes you have some glue or some tape just rolled up in a bunch in a corner, and it could have the screen sitting up once you have it down. So once we have that done, we go ahead and connect the cables. And so we start off at the bottom and go up to the top. In the end, we could do the battery. Just gonna go ahead and test out the screen. Make sure it's operating well. So once we check that, everything is good, and we go ahead and sit down the metal plate and put in the 4 screws. We go ahead and do that same thing on the top of the phone, and we got the 3 screws for that. These screws are pretty tiny, so sometimes it could be a little hassle to get them in the right place. Just take it with patience, and sometimes they could fall into the little openings inside the phone by the battery and stuff. So make sure you don't scrape or nick anything while you're picking up the screws. Be careful with that. So I do appreciate you guys viewing the channel and checking out all we have to do to fix this phone. We try to do each repair in a very detailed manner so everybody can actually see and learn. So please try to subscribe or like the videos, because we do put a lot of effort in these for you guys. Now we're just checking out the phone one more time on the inside, just making sure everything is clean. And so we clap it in from the top. Like I said, it does hook in, so go ahead and hook it in, and then start pressing from side to side and all the way to the bottom. Once all that approves, we should be good. Just go ahead and pop in the two last screws for the bottom. And this was the repair for the iPhone 8. Once again, thank you, and we'll see you next time.